Good morning, students. Our chapter first, crop production and management, is going on. In this, we learn about types of crops depend upon the season, preparation of soil, agriculture implements, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, difference between manure and fertilizer. Today, we will see our next point, irrigation. Now, see the point, irrigation. Irrigation. What is the meaning of irrigation? Giving water to the crops at the different intervals. Now see, all living beings need water to live. We are aware about that. All the living beings, they require food and water and oxygen for the survive. Water is important for proper growth and development of the flowers, fruits and seeds of the plant. Water is important because the proper for the proper growth and development of the all body parts of the plant. Water is absorbed by the plant root. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Plant contain nearly 90% of water. Now we are already aware about that water can be absorbed by the plant root, and along with the water they also absorb minerals and fertilizers which is present in the soil, and plant contain nearly 90% of water. Water is essential for the germination. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under the dry conditions. Nutrient dissolved in a water get transported to each part of the plant. Water also protects the crops from both frost and hot air currents. Water protects the crops from frost. Frost means करपून जाण्यापासून त्यांना वाचवतं. Next, to maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth, fields have to be watered regularly. Now here, why we have to water field regularly? Because in India, in Maharashtra, we will think about some regions there the crop production is depend upon the rainy season. It depend upon the rain, and because of uncertainty of rain, it is required to give the water to the crops. And the definition of the irrigation is the supply of water to the crops at different intervals is called irrigation. Not continuous supply of water to the crops at different intervals. Time to time different intervals are there. From that we have to give the water to the plants. Next, the time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil and season to season. Most important line, the time and frequency of irrigation is varies from crop to crop. Suppose we will think about the two crops, suppose grapes and sugarcane. For the grapes, water is required in a low quantity, but for a sugarcane it is required in a large quantity. Suppose soil to soil, we are aware about that there are three types of soil: sandy soil, loamy soil and clay soil. We are aware about that loamy soil and clay soil, they can retain the water. They are having water holding capacity more than sandy soil. That's why here it is mentioned soil to soil. And season to season, here in a rainy season, rainfall will be there. For that purpose, there is their supply of water from the irrigation, it is required in a low quantity. But in a summer, summer rainfall is not there, and evaporation of water from the leaves and from the soil at the high rate. For that purpose, we have to give more water in a summer season. Next, sources of irrigation. The sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams and canals. Sources of irrigation, these are the sources of irrigation. From that we are taking water to the field. Now the next point, traditional methods of irrigation. Which are the traditional methods? Paramparik paddhati. The water available in the wells, lakes, canals is lifted up by the different methods in a different region for taking to the fields. For cattle or human labor is used in these methods, so these methods are cheaper but less efficient. And the various traditional ways are mode, chain pump, rat and dhekli. These are there. Here what is mentioned, for that purpose we have to use cattle or a human labor. Because of that it is cheaper but it is less efficient. Here you can see on the screen In figure 1 1.4, moat is mentioned there. Here one man is there. Here again chain pump. For that purpose again human labor or animals are required. Next one dekli, and last one rahat. These are the traditional methods. These are the cheaper but less efficient and time consuming are there. But nowadays we are using pumps are commonly used for the lifting water. And which pumps are there nowadays? We are using diesel, which is run on diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy is used to run this pump. Now we will see our next point: modern methods of irrigation. Now we learn about the traditional methods. In the traditional method, these are the depend upon the cattle and human beings, human labor, and these are the time consuming and less efficient. Because of that, modern methods we are using different types of systems. We will see these systems. And modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically, arthapurna, or judiciously. We use the water judiciously. First one, sprinkler system. The system is more useful on the uneven land where the sufficient water is not available. Sprinkler system. It is used on uneven land. जिथे की वर खाली जमीन आहे त्या ठिकाणी आपण ही सिस्टीम वापरू शकतो. The perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzle on the top. We are aware about that, what is the meaning of perpendicular and what is the meaning of parallel. These are the perpendicular lines having rotating nozzle on the top are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. When the water allows to flow through the main pipe under the pressure with the help of pump. You can see on the well there is a pump. Now it escapes from the rotating nozzles and gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. Sprinkler is very useful for sandy soil. Now here in the sprinkler system, wells or our tube wells will be there. Their pump is required. After that, one main pipeline will be there. From that main pipeline sub pipelines will be there, and from that at the regular intervals that pipelines are mentioned there. And after that, what will be happen when we started the pump? That time the pressure of the water is more, and upper side of that pipeline the nozzle is fixed. And from that, when the pressure is there, that time this rotating nozzle is that nozzle will be rotating and water will be sprinkled on the crop just like an raining. The next one, drip system. In this system, the water falls drop by drop just at the position of the roots. And so it is called drip system. It is best technique for the watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. The system provides water to plant drop by drop. Water is not wasted at all. It is boon in the region where the availability of water is poor. Now the most important method nowadays we are using drip system. Why it is useful? Because in this water is not wasted at all. Why? Because it gives the water drop by drop at the position of the plant roots, and that's why the water will not be wasted. And this technique can be used in a fruit plants, gardens, trees. Also nowadays the farmer they are using for the sugarcane also. And at the long time from the long time they are using for the grapes, production of the grapes also. And in that, water will not be wasted, and it is a boon in a region where the availability of water is poor. Boon means वरदान, की त्यांच्यासाठी वरदान आहे की ज्या ठिकाणी हे पाणी कमी प्रमाणात अवेलेबल आहे. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, protection from the weeds. Here Bojo and Paheli went to a nearby wheat field and saw that there were some other plants in the field. In the field, many other undesirable, unwanted, नको असणारे. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crops. These undesirable plants are called weeds. Are called weeds. Now, when we see the field or when we see the crop production, that time we are aware about that the two rows are there, and between two rows some distance will be prepared for the crops. They have to take proper water, proper sunlight, and all these things. For that purpose, some regular some regular distance is prepared between the two crops, and in between these two crops some undesirable plants will be grown naturally, and these undesirable plants which is not useful for us, we have to remove it, and these undesirable plants are called as weeds. The removal of weeds called is called weeding. The removal of these unwanted plants, or which is called as weeds, is called as weeding. Weeding is a necessary since weeds compete स्पर्धा करने. Weeding is a necessary since weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrient, space, and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crop. Why we have to remove the weeds? Because it compete with the crop plants for the water, nutrients, space, and light, and for that purpose it will be affect the growth of the crop plant. Because suppose the water we are giving and nutrient, space, all these things, fertilizers we are giving for the crop plant, but what happens, these unwanted plants, they are compete with them, and they are taking these nutrients, water molecule, and because of the shortage of these all of these things, it will be affect on the growth of the crop plant. For that purpose we have to remove it. And some weeds are interfere even harvesting, and may be poisonous for animals and human beings. May be poisonous and animals and human beings. Some weeds are interfere in the harvesting cutting process, and may be poisonous for animals and human beings. Some weeds are poisonous for animals and human beings. Now there are two three methods are there. Two three methods are there to remove the weeds. We will see. Farmers adopt many ways to remove the weeds and control the growth. Tilling before sowing the crop helps uprooting and killing the weeds. Now we are aware about that tilling means plugging process. When plugging process is going on, that time unwanted plants which is present on the field, it will be uprooted. It will be uprooted, and we are killing these weeds. But what happen when they dry up? That time they again mix with the soil. And when they are getting proper conditions, they will again germinate. For that purpose, the best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. The manual removal includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground. The manual removal includes physical removal by the weeds, uprooting them. We have to uproot them or cutting them close to the ground from time to time. This is done with the help of khurpi or seed drill. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides. We can use the chemicals also to remove the weeds, and the name is mentioned weedicides. Weedicides ही ज्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये तण म्हणतो, तणनाशक. Like 2,4-D, these are the weedicides. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. But the weedicides are diluted with the water. We have to dilute with the water to the extent required and sprayed in the field with the sprayer. We have to dilute with the water. These weedicides dilute with the water, and then we have to spray in the field. Concentrated solution we cannot use in the cannot spray directly in the field. When we buy that particular weedicide, that time it is given in the concentrated solution. We have to dilute with the water. It is mentioned on that bottle also. And when we are diluting with the water, that time we can use in the field. But concentrated solution we cannot use in the field. Next, one question is there: do weedicides have any effect? Do weedicides have any effect on the person handling the weedicide sprayer? Now here upper side one photo is there. The person who are spraying the weedicide in the farm. Now Here one question is there. Now we will see what is the answer. It is already, as already mentioned, the weedicides are sprayed during the vegetative growth of weeds before flowering and seed formation. We have to spray the weedicides before the flowering and seed formation. Spraying of the weedicides may affect the health of the farmer, so they should use these chemicals very carefully. It will be harmful for the farmers also, but they have to use these chemicals very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during the spraying of these chemicals. When they are spraying these chemicals in the farm, that time they should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during spraying these chemicals, because these chemicals are also harmful for the human beings. For that purpose they have to cover their nose and mouth. Up to this we covered in this period. Remaining part we will see in the next period.